and that's Diane with a wig, and that's Jim with...
He understood what he needed to do. I think he understood with the end in mind. How do you want to be remembered? Because that's how you ought to start. I'm Ann Henry. I grew up in Springdale, and I graduated in '57. And one of my best friends went to business college, and her first job out of that year that she was in college was she became a secretary for Jim Blair. And when I would go see her, I ended up meeting him probably in '58 or '59. He was practicing in Springdale. I got to know him really well after he and Diane were married. His mother had left him at his grandmother's, his paternal grandmother's, and never came back. His grandmother had a little tiny general store here in Fayetteville, just right off Dixon Street. And that's how he grew up. He learned to read when he was about 3 or 4, and he lived like 2 blocks from where the library was.
They broke all of the rules at the library and let him check out as many books as he could carry, and they even allowed him to check out books out of the adult section because he had read everything in the youth department.
I started bringing a cardboard box because I couldn't carry enough books to last me for a week.
He graduated high school before he was 16, graduated with his undergraduate degree by the age of 19, and in law school 2 years later. And his ability to recall, it wasn't just that he was reading these items, it was just he could quote books, he could quote passages.
According to Tyson spokesman Jim Blair,
he advised and was the legal counselor for Tyson Foods in those really early years when Tyson was growing from a small family-owned poultry company.
Simply a method be used which assures that the delegates are seated at the National Convention.
I got acquainted with Bill Clinton at the 1972 convention, Democratic Convention in Miami, and he would periodically come through here on that campaign. Became a friend of Diane's.
When Clinton was elected, Diane and I both worked and took leave from the university in '92, and we worked full-time in the Clinton campaign in Little Rock. We were also invited to parties.
Morris and I spent a week up there.
And we would go and we would stay in the White House, and we got to stay on the 3rd floor, and then the party was in the big East Room.
This is all interior pictures of the White House.
I retired in the spring of '99. I was asked to chair the campaign to pass the library. They were looking for a millage. I said, well, if the tax passes to say it's a millage campaign, then I will agree to do it. And I thought, I don't have to worry about it. It's probably not going to pass. Well, it passed, so for the next 4 years I did fundraising. After Diane died in 2000, I made an appointment to see Jim because I thought that this would be his story to me, the perfect person to be able to fund a big gift and have it named after himself, because it would be a legacy for himself that he would really appreciate having. And he told me he would give me $3 million. So the next day I called him and I said, I want to make sure that you've had a chance to think about this. If you think that I took advantage of your grief or something like that, I don't want you to do this unless you are sure that this is what you want to do. And he said, no, I've thought about it. He said, it's exactly what I want to do.
He became just a figure that helped transform the way people thought about libraries.
And he had the stroke 3 months ago.
The stroke had paralyzed him, half of his body, his left side, and he struggled to speak. He could still communicate, but he did indicate there were 2 things that he wanted to do. He wanted to reach his 90th birthday, because we were already planning the 90th birthday party here at the library before the stroke. It was going to be on October 27th, but he also wanted to see the film that Larry Foley was making for the party. We had that night, the Clintons came, it was a fabulous celebration.
That was the night of the birthday party.
Is there anything that you would want to say to him?
I got to tell him what I wanted to tell him. I said, you made your goal, you wanted to live to be 90, you got to go to your party, you got to shake all your friends' hands, and now, we know where you are. And I said, but when you get there, look up Morris and tell him that I still miss him. And he said, we're gonna talk about you. His legacy is gonna live on, but we're just hoping they had a reunion together.